If you're a new or returning student, you might be considering moving into one of FSU's many dorms. With 17 student residence halls, there's a plethora of options to consider. Here at FSU, 20% of the student body lives on housing provided by the university, and each hall is unique, so I'm just going to be looking specifically at Landis Hall to give you an idea of what to look for. When it was founded in 1851, West Florida Seminary had a very different purpose to today's FSU. By 1939, Florida State College for Women was home to hundreds of students who lived and studied here. Like any place of higher education, these students expected a quality living space for those who attended. Landis Hall, built named after Attorney General Carrie D. Landis, was finished in 1939. That's when the first senior students moved in. Landis Hall was built to house a growing number of students who usually didn't have the opportunity or the desire to live off campus. It was built to be the largest and nicest on campus available, with space for about 400 students. This dorm was built for seniors and honor students specifically, which meant that it came with a number of privileges. Some of those privileges are no longer appropriate, but this is still an elite dorm here on campus. Landis Hall is located in the heart of FSU, which means that you should never be far from classes. You also have easy access to things like dining facilities, the library, and it's only a short walk downtown. Speaking of walking, this dorm is connected to some of the older buildings via a sky bridge, which means that you can get to the other dorms and to the dining hall without actually having to walk outside. This building's been renovated since it was first opened. The original design of the building was for the women's college in the 40s, which meant that some of the architecture choices for this place are slightly odd. For example, there used to be a smoking parlor inside for students, but obviously that's not there anymore. The doors also used to be locked at night from the outside, which clearly violates fire safety codes today. So instead, you can use your student ID to gain access at any time of night or day. Even though it's been changed over time, the classic FSU Gothic style is still very proudly displayed here. This is Leora King. For Landis to be almost 100 years old means that thousands of students have come and gone. She's one of those students. Of course, a lot of history also took place in the decades that these walls have stood. In her diary, which was recovered recently, she wrote about the chaos that women in Landis felt when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Though it was thousands of miles away, there were an enormous number of military men living nearby, and these students knew that for these men, most of them were going to be sent away. Leora lived and studied here in 1941 and noted that when she first heard of the attack, her first question was, "Where's Pearl Harbor?" Her second was about what would happen to her boyfriend, who was in the Army. The residence hall's renovations were completed in 2006 with new and improved housing options and floor plans for the students to choose from. It was designed to look and feel brand new, but whether or not it still seems modern is up to students' interpretations. So whether you have a 4.0 GPA or one that's closer to mine, there are hundreds of opportunities to stay on campus in relative comfort. Landis Hall represents one of the oldest dorms on campus, but also one of the most prestigious. It's easy to walk past this building and not really know what it is or how important it's been to the campus over 100 years. But the next time you go to get coffee at the sweet shop, you might remember that this dorm is one of FSU's most impressive. And if you're looking for a dorm to stay in next year, consider Landis.